when you joined the convent and we all got in the car, 1956, right? And would it
Hey, June the 16th, 1956, today's our anniversary.
Oh. And we all got in the car and we were really sad and we crying. And I remember as you drove out Daddy drove out the driveway, you said, somebody tell a joke fast. And then we took you off to the convent, and I think Mom may have waited a day. I don't think it was the same day, but we went up. You slept in the north room, and we went up and sat on your bed and read all of your letters.
Oh my gosh.
And
that north room with the brown walls and the yellow wall.
And there was, what was his name? Oberdeen or?
Oberdeen.
Yeah. Read his letters. Yeah. A delightful couple of hours, Mary Kay.
I'm glad you were entertained.
Did you burn them then, Ann?
Pardon?
Did you burn them?
I don't know what Mom did with them.
Well, Mom read them too.
Hmm?
Mom read them.
Oh, Mom was the instigator. It wasn't me. It was Mom.
Albert Weatherford's brother-in-law. Albert's wife was Oberding.
Hmm. What was his first name? Roy or
Earl, because you used to run out by the tank in the front yard and say, Earl, the squirrel is coming.
I've got a story about Mary Kay and a bicycle. The boys had the bicycle with the piece of metal all the way back, and the girls didn't. It was cut out. So if they fell or if anybody fell, they wouldn't be hurt. Well, Mary Kay taught me how to ride the bike. How many remember the hump?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody remembers the hump. She got me out on the hump and had me stand on the pedals and walk beside me at first. And then she, anyway, I was able to ride a bike because of Mary Kay. But the bike had no brakes. So
exactly.
come down the hump, you had to learn how to turn before the trees. Right off the bank. Anyway, it's a great story. I can still ride a bike, probably.
That was John's bike, and didn't he get it from Lloyd Weatherford, Bill? The old red bike John had. You had a nice bike, like a racer bike. And he had that old red bike. And I think it was Lloyd Weatherford's old bike.
Well, yours was blue, Mary Kay.
Yeah. Teresa and I got that for Christmas one year.
Yeah, I don't remember John's bike, but my bike was put together in World War II. Remember that guy that lived up on that brick house up on the hill on Price Boulevard, and he had the bicycle shop down on Commercial Street? I forget his name. I thought I'd remember it forever, but I can't recall it right now. But he was the one that I kept asking for a bicycle, and things were tight during the war. And Mickey Flynn and Dick Aaronsburg all had bicycles since they were little guys. And I never had a bicycle. And finally, for my birthday, my dad broke down and got me one. And that was that rebuilt bicycle that this guy down there put together. And I remember learning how to take that bicycle apart, everything in it, putting it back together.
Yeah, bicycle.
You know, a name came to me last week, the Dunsters. I had forgotten about the Dunsters, but the oldest girl died that was 92. Didn't they live down there on the hill where Myra Graves moved with Reeves after she got married? The Dunsters, or no, the Dunsters, the Sowers moved in over by Ralph Bedding. Where the Sowers moved in, wasn't that the Dunster place, Bobby Dunster, Bill? Down
I remember I
West of Mar Hill.
I hadn't thought of that name for years, but
I
Bobby
hadn't
Lester.
either till I saw the obit. And I thought about the Dunns. They lived there west of Mar Hill where the Sowers lived at first.
Yeah, I'll have to think a while about that, Mary Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Kay, do you remember playing cards at night?
Playing cards?
Oh, yeah. Schafkopf with Daddy.
Yeah, I think sometimes we even played three-handed, didn't we?
Daddy taught us to play three-handed, right. Yeah. He wanted to play Schafkopf at home, so he taught you and John and me how to play. I think I was 8 or 9.
Yeah, he had to have you so we could have a game.
A game.
Did we play that much? I remember a lot of things we did at night with him. One of them was we'd sit around and read books and then
Playing
share the
cards.
stories in the books with each other.
Or go in the north room and play marbles, line the marbles up and shoot each other's marbles, and they go down the grate, remember?
Mhm.
How we line up all the marbles and shoot.
Almost.
That used to be the thing we played at recess at St. Joseph's. And Lolo
Yeah.
Ramirez was the champion marble shooter.
My
Yeah,
sugar.
they make a circle and shoot marbles. Did you shoot marbles, Chuck, when you were in school?
Yes, I did.
They don't do that anymore, do they? Shoot marbles?
So
No, they have their iPads.
got their thumbs now. That's what they use.
It's like the girls did jacks.
That's right.
Mhm. We
Very
all did jacks.
When Bill and I took the old furnace out, there were a lot of marbles in it.
You and I went down there and got a whole bunch of them.
Said when you took old furnace out, there were a lot of marbles in it.
Yeah, it was full of marbles.
Marbles in it.
Marbles in it.
Remember how
Yeah.
happy we were to play Monopoly when we got that for Christmas? And we didn't like John being the banker.
Interesting.
Banker.
Chris came back from the army and taught us how to play canasta. We love playing canasta.
Yeah, he did.
He
Uh-huh.
did.
That
How
was
do
a
you know?
Canadian game.
If people still play canasta, I don't know.
Didn't you have to have a little plastic thing in the middle to hold the cards?
It's too
Right.
dense.
Mhm. Yeah, a double deck for canasta.
Cards.
I don't remember playing it.
I remember playing it, but I don't know anything about it.
I don't either. I
You
could
did.
play rummy probably.
Nick,
Now-
you did.
Rummy we played as children.
You remember beanbags?
Mm-hmm.
Chase each other around the yard throwing beanbags. Mary Kay on the sewing machine taught me how to make a beanbag. And it held together.
Beanbag.
Uh-huh.
Mary
Ours were
Kay?
Ours were filled with corn, which hurt worse than beans.
Yeah.
Mine was probably.
Mary
Beans.
Kay, you made lots of trips from Kansas City to Atchison, delivering stuff to Route 1. One was, I think Bill got Mom and Daddy a stereo.
Oh, that came on the bus. Bill called. Remember Dolgen's, the discount place? Dolgen's had all electronic. First of all, Dolgen's was downtown Kansas City. And it was only for government employees. That's what Dolgen's was for. Genevieve would go there and buy things. Bill called and wanted a stereo for Mom. So Lee and I went out to Dolgen's and bought it and took it to the bus station. And Chuck had to pick it up and take it out to Route 1. Remember that, Chuck?
I do not recall that.
Yeah, but the stereo that Mom had in the dining room by the north window,
I
that
remember
was for Bill for Christmas, yeah.
And it came on Christmas Eve, I think, didn't it?
Or near Christmas,
for
yeah.
Mhm.
I thought that was the Montgomery Ward.
Number
No,
one.
I got it at Dolgen's.
Hmm.
Yeah,
got the stereo from Montgomery Ward, didn't you, Trees?
Yeah.
And think how mom listened to public radio off of that. Every day she listened to public radio.
Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Bill,
Very nice.
you remember Heathkit?
Oh,
Yes.
that's Bill.
He used to
And
make a lot of things from
Chuck
there.
did Heathkit.
I made FM tuner
Mhm.
Ah,
with Heathkit. Took a cord and ran it from my Heathkit up to the east room that I was living in then. I could listen to music all night long if I wanted.
Wow.
Somebody downstairs unplugged it.
Probably Daddy.
Probably Ann.
No,
Out of spite.
don't think so.
I didn't need it.
Daddy used to look out and see if there was light on the lawn, on the ground, and he'd know if we were reading upstairs. Because he didn't want us reading at night.
Your dad would look out on the lawn to see if their lights were on the lawn from the upstairs windows to see if you were reading at night.
Yeah.
Trixie!
This is John. I heard stories from some of the more elderly priests that the Elias house never ever turned a light off.
That wasn't true because Daddy wanted lights off, but when he would go out of a room, he wanted the light off because you were wasting electricity and we didn't have money.
Mhm.
But the neighbors, I know the Spillmans and then the Webbers said they could look over any time of the night and there were lights on. I think some of that was because we had the hall light on all the time.
Exactly, that hall light.
It's on.
So we wouldn't fall down the steps.
And Dorothy and I, when we were in college, and Chuck were often staying up all night. I remember staying up all night doing a paper, and Mom and Daddy were up most of the night with me. Yeah, but the light was always on in the hallway. But I was thinking of a story about Mary Kay. It was when Daddy had his first, maybe it was his first stroke. I was in a speech contest in Kansas City, and some other people were too. Maybe I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and Daddy agreed to drive. We needed a driver, and he took us down, and I gave a speech and I had to give another one. I had to give the same speech again, and in between I was like on deck waiting to give my speech, and they came in and got me, and I saw Daddy going out on the stretcher. He'd had a stroke, and they put him in the ambulance and took him away, and then they took me back in to give my speech. Anyway, and I finished the however many times I had to give this speech. And then they took me over to where Mary Kay was. And I don't remember which.
Shawnee Heights, 34th and Shawnee Drive, Kansas City, Kansas.
And took me over there. And it was lunchtime and the sisters were having lunch, but I couldn't eat with you guys. They put me in another room and shut the door.
Or
Sons eat. And so I had my dinner or my lunch in there. But then afterwards was the best part. And I don't know why we didn't go, I don't remember going to the hospital with you to see Daddy, but Daddy's car was down there and we had to take it home. So you got to drive me home. And I still remember your veil was in the back seat because you had the window down, and it must have been such freedom for you to be back behind the wheel and driving that car. And I'm surprised the veil wasn't, but you were really enjoying taking me home, but
Driving again.
driving again.
Huh.
I guess
That
we must have found
Funny,
out.
in Atchison, the one who was in charge of the automobiles decided that Dolorosa, that I was from Atchison, I should be driving the sisters to the doctors. Well, all these nuns used to go to Dr. Buck. Remember Dr. Buck?
Mhm.
That would put, what was he? He wasn't,
He was
anyway,
a chiropractor.
I wound around all around Southwest Atchison. I mean, Northwest Atchison, trying to find Dr. Buck the first time. I didn't have a clue where he was. And whoever was with me didn't know either, but we were late picking up the sisters, that was for sure.
He was a little bit strange in his practice because Leonard Funk had been in that car accident and had, he was pretty much in a coma. I guess you would say he was in a coma. And Dr. Buck would work on him, but remotely. Leonard was in Nortonville and Dr. Buck was in Atchison. And I don't know if he was thinking about him or what he was doing. But anyway, he would work remotely on Leonard.
The funniest thing was at St. Benedict's School, his daughter was in school and the flu was going around and she was sick. And so Sister Elaine called and said, your daughter's sick, she has to come home. And in 2 hours she was back. And she didn't want to contaminating the rest of the class. So she called Dr. Buck back and he said, she's okay, I gave her an adjustment. So how did you give an adjustment for the flu? Anyway, she was back in school.